Is Cardano finally about to break out of the falling wedge? As most of you already know, Cardano is making a splash in the news because on the 24-hour transaction volume, it's actually surpassing a lot of other altcoins. There's been days where it's been number one, but it's surpassing the top ones like XRP and Ethereum. Is the price finally going to follow this bullish news, or are we in store for a little bit more price action to the downside before a big bull rally? So out on the daily chart, we're actually seeing a couple different signs that give us some bullish action that maybe give us a hope that the future looks bright. The first thing, as I mentioned before, is that it looks like we might be approaching a bullish breakout of this falling wedge. Now, there is a chance that we end up retesting right here and coming back down. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more when we look at the 4-hourly chart, which potentially is kind of spelling out a prediction that that might happen. But on the daily chart, we need to examine two different scenarios. Either one, we bounce off of this resistance, or we break through it and start to work our way back to the upside. The first case that I have talked about over and over and over again on Coffee and Crypto and other shows is that Cardano is one of the few projects that has already set up daily bullish RSI divergence. Bitcoin has not done this. Ethereum has not done this. If you look at a lot of other altcoins, they have not yet set up the daily bullish RSI divergence that is pretty accustomed to calling the reversal of trends. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know that Cardano has been in a downtrend since the 3rd of September. This is something that we have been waiting a long time to see a reversal. And unlike projects like Bitcoin and Ethereum, we're seeing already the daily RSI divergence start to form. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're seeing an uptick in our RSI action while we see a downtick in price action. This is something that is screaming that the market is close to being ready to reverse. Staying on the daily chart, if you pull up your Bollinger Bands, you're going to see we actually have a little bit of room to go at least to the 20 daily SMA, which would put us up at this line of 98 cents. Now, I'll talk about that here in a little bit with the 4-hourly chart, but just so you know, right now on the Bollinger Bands, there is plenty of room, not only just to get to the 20 daily SMA, but potentially start to work back towards the top of Bollinger Bands. We came down here and tested the bottom, and now it's time that potentially we could move up. Now, unfortunately, as we move down to the 4-hourly chart, we're starting to see potentially a different picture, and this is the case for the bears that Cardano might not be ready just yet. I talked about this the other day on my Twitter account at Tims_TA. You'll see these two lines and the significance of them. One sitting right here around 93 cents and the other at 98. Now, why are these two lines significant and why do we need to be paying attention to them? Well, if you pull up your RSI, you're going to find that these 2 points are key components of the RSI peaks. What am I talking about? Right here on the 23rd and right here on the 20th are 2 different peaks, both on the RSI and the price action. Now, as you notice right now, we're hovering right at the 93 cent region. However, the RSI is clearly higher. If I go ahead and draw this line on the RSI is increasing. However, the price at best is moving sideways, if not to the downside. If we cannot close candles above the 93 cents and then work to close above the 98 cents, we're going to be setting up bearish RSI divergence, which would predict that the price should come back down. Now, Cardano is fickle. There is news out there that could change this, but as of right now, my concern with Cardano is these candles that are hovering right at that line. It's also hovering right where we have a descending level of resistance. So to me, when I'm looking at this, it is kind of calling that potentially it might be time for reversal. To make matters worse, if you pull up the Bollinger Bands, we're sitting at the top of the 4-hourly Bollinger Bands. This is quite different than what we saw out in the daily chart, of course, where we have room to grow. And the good news is the 4-hourly chart doesn't play out plays out way faster than the daily chart. So it might be we have a small retracement before increasing on the daily. But if you were thinking that Cardano's going to make a massive rally tonight, it doesn't necessarily look like that's in the cards. Again, things could change. 4-hourly charts change way faster than longer time frames. However, as it stands right now, it looks like this recent rally that we had this morning / early afternoon potentially is coming to an end. If I go even deeper down to the hourly chart, there we are still at the same time, we are still overextended on the Bollinger Bands, and we're beginning to see the RSI come back down. The only good news is that even on this hourly chart, there is a chance that we could be sending up bullish RSI divergence, but it's a little too early to tell. As it stands right now, I love Cardano just as much as the next guy, but I don't know if this is a good spot to buy in and get a little bit more Cardano. I think there's a good chance that we come back down and retest somewhere in the 80-cent region. However, I definitely wouldn't sell either because there is still a strong chance that the bulls begin to rally and we go even further overextended on those Bollinger Bands. 4-hourly charts are very, very helpful. However, they don't tell a long-term picture. If you are a hodler, I still think this is a great time to get into Cardano. It's the traders that maybe need to push the pause button, wait and watch what happens the rest of tonight and into tomorrow morning. Long story short, though, Cardano is going to rally. It's coming soon. I don't know if that's days, weeks, or months, but those of you who have been waiting, continue to hodl, continue to be patient, and you will be rewarded in the future. That's all I have for you guys in this video. Hopefully it was helpful. Peace.
Hey, you made it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this video, you should definitely consider subscribing because we're trying to help you become financially free in these cryptocurrency markets. And also, consider following us on Twitter @CryptoJeb for more updates on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Peace.